Hey, what's up? I'm Ty Wilkinson, BrickBuilder7 on Flickr. This is my Battle of Britain display here at Bricks by the Bay 2017. So this build's actually I got inspired to do this when I went over to England this last December, and really just kind of looking at all the different architecture, I decided I wanted to kind of build something in Lego from that experience. So I kind of started, piecing some things together, ended up with a couple buildings I like, and decided to do a Battle of Britain display, because, hey, why not, right? And so then I kind of just worked on one block of the buildings here. This block right here was the first one I did, with the white building and the brown one and that sand green building. And it was really important to me to get the subway system in there, because during the Battle of Britain, during bombing raids by Nazi Germany, civilians would actually hide inside tube stations and just on the tracks of the tube in London, and sometimes to the extent of living in there for days. So I kind of wanted to depict that on the bottom, with people bringing down their valuables in their chests and whatnot in there. And that really allowed me the freedom to do the snot roads on the top, which gives me a nice effect with the craters in the middle of the road, which would be a lot harder to achieve with Lego base plates or just some tiles on top of base plates. And this smoke technique for the pub here, I kind of did some different experimenting a couple of years ago for a Civil War diorama with some smoke, and ended up with this technique, and it works quite well actually, in terms of, I think, like how it looks. And so this was more just figuring out a way to do it on a bigger scale. And this alleyway, that was another thing. When I was in England, alleyways were all over the place. Like, you walk down the street and it's hard to find a street without an alleyway. So that was one of the key things I wanted to have in this build. And really getting that odd angle was kind of tricky, especially on the pub, because it's such an awkward angle to build at, like attaching the two seams of the buildings. But I think it turned out pretty good. And then this church, another thing that's pretty common, just walking around, seeing, like, you'll pass by small churches and stuff in various neighborhoods. So that was another thing I really wanted to incorporate into this build. And other than that, we got, the dogfight happening up above. And that was one of the main reasons I wanted to do this build as well, is just because you never really see people doing air battles. It's always, land, maybe some sea battles in there, but finding a dogfight or any sort of air battle is pretty rare. So that was pretty important. I wanted to achieve that effect, and I think it turned out pretty good with the same smoke technique coming out of the Bf-109 here. And other than that, we just, some other details, all custom vehicles, even including the double-decker bus there, and the London tube line, which is period accurate, based that off of some real pictures.